I'm here to teach you about podcasting. All right, so here comes the screen share. I'm going to switch over to the podcast email. So here's the first thing you have to do is decide who you want to interview. I have interviewed New York Times bestselling authors and famous ESPN producers and announcers, and I am nobody. And you're a student, you're somebody. So all you do is send them a message and ask them if they'd like to be a guest on your podcast. Most people get really excited because it's really flattering. And you can send them a link to the podcast. So if you don't know the link to the podcast, it's on SoundCloud. It's called Wolfpack Career Chats. And when you look at Wolfpack Career Chats, you'll see we changed it to Pack, because we got in trouble from athletics. But you send them the link to this and you say, would you like to be a guest? Normally people will say yes. You can tell them it's a 30-minute interview. And once they have said yes, then now you have your guest and you get to research them and decide what questions you want to ask. And I'm also going to show you how to set up the Zoom interview because it's all done virtually. So it's really easy. So again, this email template will be available to you so you can see the sample questions that we ask, but you can ask whatever you want in the podcast. I like to get into overcoming obstacles and struggles. I like to make it kind of juicy and fun. So we don't want it to be boring. And that's why I'm going to give you a few tips as an interviewer. You're going to learn this. All you have to do is be yourself. So once you pick your podcast day, you can do a pre-podcast chit chat on Zoom, and then you can schedule your real podcast day. Some people are like, I'm good. Send me the questions. We don't need a pre-podcast. And you still get to chit chat before the actual podcast that is edited gets produced. So in other words, let's say I'm interviewing you and you just click on your Zoom. I click on my Zoom. I say, hello, how are you doing? And you go, I'm doing great. How's the weather out there in Raleigh? Well, I'm recording it, but the wonderful Sade waves her magic wand and she starts the podcast once I count down. So you do all your chit chat, you answer all their questions, you say, this is a relaxed conversation, be yourself. We can edit anything that you say that you don't like. That doesn't usually happen. And we're just going to relax and have fun, have a glass of water handy if you need to, be in a quiet room where you've got your earbuds on. It's usually better sound if you have your headsets on. And that's all you need to do. And then you send them these questions ahead of time. I always ask them, what is your favorite career topic? So we can target the conversation. And usually people will have something that they think is really passionate for them. So for Bridget, it is career adaptability. So now I know that I can kind of dive into that, and that might even be the theme. We always have one question that is the same for everyone as our final guest question. So we want to be consistent with our brand on that. And that is, you're in a time machine. It is the year 2040. What advice would you give to yourself today, 2020? Give them that question ahead of time. Tell them before, when you're doing the pre-podcast prep, before you actually count down 3, 2, 1, that question is coming, because people have fun with that one and they like to think about that one ahead of time. Now, how do you set it up? Once you've agreed on the time, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your Zoom. And when you go to your Zoom, you are going to set up your meeting with this person and you're going to invite them. It's really easy. I'm sure you've set up Zoom meetings before, but you just go to schedule a meeting. But one tip that's really important is go ahead and title it Marcy and Bridget Podcast. Go ahead and put the date on there. And when you get down, it's not recurring. You don't need a passcode. And the main thing, you don't need breakout rooms, that you need to remember is you want to record the meeting on the cloud. Don't do on your local computer. And then you just press save. Okay, so once I have this meeting saved, I'm going to add it to my Google Calendar. Goes automatically. And then when I add it in, I'm going to type in Bridget's name, since she is my guest that day, so that she will be invited to this meeting. And then once I save it, then she has the link that she needs to join. You can add anything in here that you would like to tell them about it, but you've already done an email, so you should be good to go on that side of things. And then they have the email invitation in their inbox. They know on this date that this is the link that they tune into. All right, so let me stop the share for a minute and tell you, well, actually, what I'll do is I'll go to the Career Development Center website just so you can see. I'll leave this one. So you know how to set up the meeting, you know what questions you want to ask. It's only 30 minutes long. So kind of keep that in mind. It is only 30 minutes long. And I would say shoot for 20 minutes. Look at your time when you start. And when they're talking as the podcast interviewer, again, little banter at the beginning, and then you say, okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Wolfpack Career Chats. My name is, and today I have Bridget Hartsfield on the line. Hi, Bridget. Okay, you can listen to a few podcasts so you know how you want to do the entrance. You can do it your own way, 100%. And then you get into your questions. Now, some people can get a little bit wordy and go on tangents. So I always tell them in the pre-podcast prep that I'll wave at them if I need to jump in, because we're sharing our video while we record it, but no one sees the video because it's uploaded to a podcast. So let's say Bridget is like, blah, 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 and I just kind of do this. And then I say, I love that idea you had about changing careers, Bridget. Can you dive more into? So you have to kind of judge when to jump in. This is the fun part. You're going to learn. You're not going to be perfect at it the first time, but don't go over 30 minutes. Sade will go in and edit any superfluous tangents out that she can, but it's nice if we can keep it 20 to 30 minutes. And again, what are they most passionate about? Anything under the career umbrella goes. So maybe you want to interview someone that is the CEO of your dream company and you want to ask them about their leadership style. You can scroll through all the podcasts to see the topics we've had in the past. We'll go back to do screen share on our SoundCloud so you can look at that. When you look at the podcasts that we've done in the past, they're all different topics. You don't have to come up with the title, but you can if you want to. That's a really fun one with a very celebrity woman who is the wonderful meteorologist on WRAL. She's super fantastic. If you haven't listened to some of these, listen to Katz, listen to Terry Gannon. That was such a good one. He's amazing. Just look at the topics you're interested in. Some of these are just me talking, so if they're only 6 minutes, you don't need to listen to that one unless you want to learn something that I said. But again, if you're in the arts, listen to that one. If you are interested in getting your first job, you can listen to that one. So all of these are really, really great podcasts, and you can see the number of people that have listened. We have had over 10,000 people listen to the podcast so far, so that is really exciting. So let's see, you know how to conduct the interview now. I stopped the share there. Back to me. You know what questions you might like to ask. You know how to end the interview. You know how long it's going to be. You know that we can edit it. You just want to be relaxed and natural. Again, scroll down to the podcast with Wes Wade. I don't remember the number, but he's one of our rockstar career counselors, and Emily Foman, a career ambassador, interviewed him. And then that's all you need to know. So now you know how to set up the Zoom invite. You just pick the time between you and that person that works, and we will put it in the queue to go live. Podcasting